Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at Universal Serial Bus, commonly known as USB. We're going to be exploring the ports, the interface, and we're going to be explaining how it is used to transmit data. USB or Universal Serial Bus is an industry standard for transmitting data. It uses high-speed serial duplex transmission. Data is transmitted on a single wire, one after another. Now on screen, you can see the internal workings of a USB cable. You'll see that it has red and black power cables and it has two wires which allow data to be transmitted in both directions simultaneously. USB connectors and USB ports are all part of the USB interface. So when we talk about USB in the purpose of this lesson or the exam, we're talking about the USB interface itself. Do not confuse USB with the USB flash media, which is a storage medium. This is a method of transmission. The USB cable consists of a 4-wire shielded cable. Two of the wires are used for power and earth, and two of the wires are used in data transmission. Now, you don't really need to describe these wires, just have some general awareness that a USB cable has multiple wires inside them. What you should be aware of is the USB connection process. So when a device is plugged into a computer using one of the USB ports, the computer automatically detects that a device is present, and this can happen due to a small change in the voltage level on the data signal wires in the cable itself. The device is then automatically recognized and the appropriate device driver is loaded up, so the computer and the device can communicate effectively. If a new device is detected, the computer will look for the device driver which matches the device, and if this isn't available on the computer itself, the user is prompted to download the appropriate software or provide the disk which contains the device driver. So why do we use USB? Why is it so common? It offers quite a few benefits, but it also has a few drawbacks, and you've got to be aware of both of them. The benefits include that devices plugged into the computer are automatically detected and device drivers are automatically loaded up. Connections can only fit one way, preventing incorrect connections being made. It's become an industry standard, which means there's a lot of support for it. It can support different data transmission rates from 1.5 megabits per second to 5 gigabits per second. There's no need for external power source since the cable supplies 5 volts of power. USB protocol notifies the transmitter to retransmit data if any errors are detected, so it has error detection built in. It is relatively easy to add more USB ports if necessary using USB hubs, and it's backwards compatible. That means older versions are still supported. However, it does have a few problems or drawbacks, and they are that standard USB only supports a maximum cable length of 5 meters. Beyond that, USB hubs are needed to extend the cable length. Even though USB is backwards compatible, very early USB standards may not always be supported by the latest computer, so you will need to have an adapter to plug them in. Even the latest version of USB, for example USB Type-C, has data transfer rate which is slow compared to Ethernet connections, so they are not as fast as other types of cable connections. Okay, that's all for this particular lesson. Hopefully you understand what is meant by a USB and what type of transmission a USB supports. You should also be able to give two advantages of a USB interface and two disadvantages of a USB interface. And above all, you should be able to describe the USB connection process, how it's able to automatically detect devices. That's all for this particular lesson. If you do have any questions, as usual, get back to me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.